What's up, Deuce?
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll begin with some opening remarks and then open up to questions. James, you want to kick us off?
No, thanks, Cole. Good morning, everyone. I'm excited today to introduce the newest Phoenix Sun family member and his family, Kamaya, Deuce, Braylon, and Braxton, to the Phoenix community as a whole. A few weeks ago, or about a week ago, we commenced a trade that allowed us to pursue and acquire one of the premier guards in this league, someone who's just not a great basketball player, but a great teammate and a great human being, a great family man, and someone that we believe represents the Phoenix Suns community and team the right way. And so with that, I'd like to kick it over to Coach Frank Vogel for some words.
How you doing, everyone? I also want to welcome not only Bradley, but Kamaya and Deuce and Braylon and Braxton to the Suns family. We want to make sure that we're building a family atmosphere and a family culture, and this is a welcome day for all of you guys. Bradley Beal is one of the best players in the NBA, and we're thrilled to have him be a Phoenix Sun with KD and Book. We form a trio of three of the most prolific scorers in the game, a great two-way center, one of the best two-way centers in the game, and these pieces are a great foundation for what we hope can be a championship run for this franchise. So with that, welcome Bradley.
Good morning, everybody. Phoenix, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you, James, Coach Vogel, Josh, Matt Ishbia, like the entire organization. This is a dream come true. Sort of bittersweet being a guy, being in DC for 11 years. Have a lot of emotionally ties to that city. My family was established there, so I just want to take a moment to thank the city of DC, thank the organization, for allowing this partnership to happen. And without their partnership, I wouldn't be here in front of you guys today. So I want to take a little moment to thank them. But I'm super excited for this opportunity. This is awesome for my family and I. A new change. Yesterday was my birthday, so I feel refreshed. I feel rejuvenated. This is an exciting moment for me. This is an awesome team. Like Coach said, we have a very, very awesome core that I'm just happy to be a part of and excited to push these guys every single day and learn from them as well. So my family and I look forward to meeting everybody here, engaging with everybody, with the city, with the fans, the community. I'm very big on being impactful as I can. So I look forward to meeting everybody, being as impactful as I can, and hopefully we can chase this ring.
Great. We'll now open to questions. A reminder to state your name and affiliation. Dwayne, you want to get started?
Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. Wow, sorry. Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. Welcome, Bradley, to Phoenix. Didn't realize it's going to jump off like that. First, obviously, you've been one of the premier players in the league, but haven't really had the playoff opportunities as of late. Mm-hmm. How important is that for you to know that you're with a team now that has a legit chance to win a championship?
Oh, it's huge. I think one of the biggest things we take for granted as players is, who's around you, the players around you and what they bring to the table every single day. And it's not easy to win in this league, and I think that's what a lot of people get kind of misconstrued. No matter how much talent you have, you still have to make it work. You have to still put in the work and go get the job done. But I'm super ecstatic that every single day I have a chance to play in a meaningful game. I think that's one of the biggest, decisions that impacted me of coming here, of knowing that every single night I'm going to be in an important game. Every single night I may have a chance of being on television. Every single night, teams are going to give us their best. So I look forward to that challenge, and also being in a position to where we're kind of a targeted team. So every single night I got to lace them up.
I had a quick follow, James. Obviously, a report out about Kyrie Irving and you guys meeting with him going into free agency. Could you address that?
What we do in free agency is an internal matter that we always keep internal. There are plenty great players that we'll talk to during this period, and so that's why I'll leave that.
Hey, James, back here. David Brandt from the Associated Press. There's been a lot of speculation about your role in the front office now that Matt Ishbia is here. That some people say you've got all this pull and some people say you've got no pull at all. Like, what is it like working with Matt, and how has your role changed under the new regime?
I mean, Matt's awesome. Like, he's been extremely awesome to work with. My role has expanded. as you see with this recent transaction that we made to acquire Bradley. But working with Matt, with Josh, with Frank, has been great for me. It's allowed me to improve my team. And my team with me in basketball operations, we've been able to push forward with some really big, I'd say some like really high or big ask, and we've been able to accomplish it as a team. So it's been great working for him, and I look forward to it.
Bradley, Richard Sines, Fox 10 Phoenix, welcome to the Valley. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Like Coach Vogel said, you're one of the premier players in the league. And having said that, whenever opposing teams came to play your team, you were the guy that they had to focus on stopping. Now there's other options besides you on
Good
this
luck
team.
with that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So what goes through your mind when you see how things could open up for you on the court with the guys you have around you?
I get antsy just thinking about it because I haven't had those opportunities. And it's the same with the other two guys and DA. Like, this is crazy. I met with these guys. It's the first thing James said. He said, okay, when we played you, we pretty much doubled you when you had the ball. He's like, but with us, who are you going to double team? Where are your rotations going to look like? And so, like, just that 2 seconds, I was like, damn, like, that makes a lot of sense, So, but I'm excited about it. Like, you have a lot of dynamic scorers who the biggest box that we check is our unselfishness. All of us just want to compete. We want to play hard. And the biggest thing, we want to win. And I think we all have unbelievable talents that we respect. And we unselfishly push each other to be the best we could possibly be. So I'm looking forward to it. K, Dev, DA, like these guys are a great core piece to the franchise. And I'm happy, like you said, that you can go guard Devin and K tonight. I can chill a little bit and not face so many double teams. A little bit more open shots, I can work on my catch and shoot a little bit more. So we're good.
Hey, Bradley, Gerald Bourget, PHNX Sports. Welcome to the Valley and happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
I just was curious, you mentioned it's a little bittersweet being in D.C. for your whole career and how much it meant to you to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Just how difficult a decision was it to come here, and what were kind of the factors that played into choosing Phoenix over anywhere else?
Oh, it was a difficult decision, honestly. But it all came down to Washington and their front office. I respect them and what they do, and I'm not going to get into what they do and other teams and the process of all that because it was a tough one. I'm not going to sit here and say it was an easy one, and Phoenix knows better than anybody how tough of a decision that this whole process was. So out of respect for them and what they're trying to do in free agency, I'll let them answer those questions when the time comes. I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited that this is a city and an organization that pretty much wanted me, and so more or less it's kind of go where you want it. That's kind of the message I received in this whole process, and again, I'm excited to be here and excited about the opportunity again.
Bradley, Doug Haller with The Athletic back here. The last couple seasons, you dealt with a lot of injuries. Just how frustrating was it to go through that, and was there anything that you learned just to come out of that?
Oh, 100%. I think the biggest thing is they were knickknacks. There were a few of them that I was a little hard-headed coming back from injuries and re-injured them and prolonged my time out a little bit longer. But there's nothing that was structurally wrong with my body or anything that required surgery. It was nothing that damaged my body tremendously. So it's a few knickknacks that I work through, and my body's in a lot better position now. This is the first summer I've had in 2-3 years in which I have a whole summer I can work out. In years past, I've been injured all the way through the year. Last year, I was recovering from wrist surgery, so I couldn't do anything till October, essentially. So this is the first summer I have legitly to work out and work on my body, and I take that to the heart as best as I can, and understand that this is my temple. So if I'm not available, that's not good. So that's the biggest thing for me. Good question.
Hey, Bradley. Kellen Olson, Arizona Sports. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the Valley. When you form a backcourt now with Devin Booker, obviously a lot of attention is brought to the scoring, but the two of you initiate offense a whole lot as well. How do you see that dynamic playing out given the complete offensive players that both of you are?
Pretty much probably what you said. Obviously we're going to ask this guy what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be playing. But I see it as being free-flowing. Like, I don't think either of us really have a position. Like, he can create, he can facilitate, he can shoot the ball, he can score the ball. And I could do the same, So it's not going to be a who plays point, who plays shooting guard. I think it's an interchangeable thing, and whoever gets it goes.
Yeah, we want to play with pace. So we're going to have a multiple ball handler attack in most possessions. But I love the fact that both Bradley and Devin have played point at phases of their career and can initiate offense, as can KD. And we also want to see how the rest of the roster shakes out, to see if we add a point guard. Campaign will be in the mix. All those decisions will play out in camp. But, we're going to play with pace and have a multiple ball handler attack.
Hey, I'm Barry Bloom from Sportico. Welcome, guys. Good to see you again. Good to see you, too. This is kind of a general question. Now that you're forming your lineup for next year, what's your options on the fifth spot right now? And I know you have some of your own free agents that you'd like to re-sign. It's a little early, but where do you stand on that?
I mean, from a roster perspective, we'll have a ton of really qualified great players that can fill that fifth spot. But luckily for me, I don't make those decisions. The players decide through competition, and coach has to make that tough choice.
Yeah, and I would add, the same thing. A campaign will get a look. We'll see what other free agents that we sign, and, those answers will play out in camp.
James, did you think that was a detriment after the KD trade, that you trading the guys you did, that you wound up short not having an actual fifth guy?
No, I mean, I thought that we had enough. I thought that all of our guys, especially post-trade with a very tough adjustment period. Anytime you make a trade mid-season, it's a little disruptive. I thought our guys handled it well. I thought just at the end of the season, when it came down to the playoffs, we just didn't get it done.
Hey, Brad, I'm Dana Scott from Arizona Republic. Welcome to the Valley. Happy 30th.
Thank you, brother.
So I'm wondering, you're coming with your longtime protege, Jordan Goodwin, to the Valley. So being the St. Louis natives that you are, how does that feel to come with a soft landing, bringing him here? And how do you feel that him and your other former teammate, or your other teammate, Isaiah Todd, contribute to the team?
I'm excited about it. I think they're both it's unbelievably refreshing for them to get a new look and a new opportunity. I think Jordan is going to surprise a lot of people. A lot of people may not know who he is, but he is a nasty, tenacious defender who loves the game, who will compete at both ends of the floor. And Isaiah is a 6'9" athletic wing, and I think he'll get a lot of opportunities to be able to showcase his skills and his talents and his athleticism. I think they both will help us. They weren't just thrown in to be thrown in. Like, we value what they're able to bring in to the table and to the team. And like Coach said, it'll be a competition-based thing. So, yeah, just as well as you're coming, you still got to compete and lace them up just like everybody else. So I'm ecstatic about those two because they're two dogs. They're two fighters, just what the team needs. So.
Coach Vogel, my question is about Jordan. What did you see in him when you first spoke to him the other day as he came to the practice facility, and how does he feel that he fits into your defensive scheme?
Yeah, well, he's a very compelling talent, and I think Bradley said it best. He's a tenacious defender with good size and physicality. And, we want, as we fill out the rest of our roster, we want to make sure that we're one of the most physical, toughest teams in the NBA. And Jordan at the guard position represents that. So I'm excited to watch him work.
Yes, Coach, I wanted to ask you about Ayton in terms of moving forward with him, and what do you see him fitting when you put those three out there with him on the floor?
Yeah, he's one of the best two-way centers in the game. I think obviously he's going to be a defensive anchor for us. I've long utilized his skill set in my defensive scheme to build a dominant defense. And I think he can do that. And I think there's a lot that we can untap offensively with him as well. So he's a pivotal part of what we're going to accomplish this year.
I want to follow up with you, Bradley, that you haven't played with a big like that. It's, I would say, Gortat in terms of an active guy, but not the skill set. Curious what that thought is of
Careful,
playing.
man. March might be mad.
I'm sure he is.
No, it's awesome. Like, that's a good comparison. Like, I probably haven't had that type of talented big who can finish, roll, good touch, shoot the ball, finish in the paint, like, since Gortat, and he's a little bit better. And I'm going to say that he's a lot better. And so I'm excited about it. Like, I haven't had a chance to play with this type of talent level ever. So it's going to be new for me. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be challenging, but I'm accepting the challenge in front of me. I'm accepting the work. I'm excited about it. I think DA can be a huge piece to our team. You know, it's tough because we're on the outside looking in always, but I see his value. I think he's a really talented big, one of the best bigs in the league, and a willing defender. You know, I think that's a lost art in our game too. So I think his impact is going to be huge this year for us.
I just had one last thing, just a couple of housekeeping things, James. Coaches said Cameron Payne a couple times in the mix. So are you guys fully guaranteeing his contract?
Say again?
Are you guys fully guaranteeing Payne's contract? Because his coaches brought his name up a couple times in the mix.
Dwayne, we have this conversation all the time. Every time. What we do internally, we keep internal. And when we make these decisions, you will know.
Well, I got to
Not
at least
before
ask.
we make them, after we make them.
Well, I still got to ask.
No, I
right?
got you. I'm just making
okay,
sure it's our thing.
Okay, so I'm going to ask one more that you get ready to give me the same answer.
Okay, then you don't have to
Okay.
ask it.
No, I'm going to ask one more to give me the same answer.
Sure, go ahead.
Baisley, are you guys extending him a qualifying offer?
Dwayne,
Okay.
once we make a decision, we will let you know.
Okay, that's all I got. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Bradley, Jordan Spurgeon, Sports 360 AZ. Welcome to the Valley. You can see there's a lot of fun around here, too. People are getting to know a little bit about you today. What do you want to know about the Valley and the fans and the people and all the places to explore here?
When does it stop being 115 and steaming hot out this joint? Because, oh my goodness, it was ridiculous. But I'm excited about food. I love food, so I need food spots. We're trying to find a house, so if there's the market's a little skyrocketed right now. It's a little different in the East Coast, so I'm trying to gather myself around that. But it's awesome. I love it. The cities. I'm a summer baby. Summer baby. So I love to be hot. I'm embracing this. My family, my boys love it. They're excited about it. My wife loves it. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to learn a lot about the Valley. Like Book is always in Flagstaff every week, so he's telling me he's going to take me a trip to go camping. I've never been camping, so please pray for me. And it's a lot of stuff. Man, I'm very cultured. I love to be in the community. So whatever you guys got, I'm always open arms. I'm always an open book. Excited about everything.
Keep an eye on you in Flagstaff. You cool off up there for sure.
My man.
Hi, I got a couple of questions. This is Dave King with SB Nation. James, a question for you. You mentioned earlier your role has expanded in the past year with Matt Ishbia joining, as the new owner. But can you expand on your first few years as GM? It was really more like a contact, getting singles and doubles and triples, and then all of a sudden you're going for home runs with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. What has changed in the mentality of the front office over the past several months, besides the obvious of Matt Ishbia in charge? Has more changed?
Just as a whole, we've been encouraged and charged with doing bigger things, right? So when you do bigger things, it requires more work, more output, and it requires more collaboration, more cooperation from the entire team. So that's what I mean when I say it's expanded. Like we're here to do great things, like not just be a good team, but be an elite great team, and it requires you chasing, pursuing, developing, building with great players and great coaches and a great staff. And so that's the exciting part. And that's why I said I love where we are right now because we're talking about forming the best team in the NBA. And if that's not what you're here for, if that's not why you do it, then it's probably the wrong place for you.
Thank you. Next question is for Frank. You mentioned campaign a couple of times, and we're not going to talk about contract, but you mentioned Cam a couple of times. Do you see a need for having a floor general point guard out there, or do you see Booker and Beal as the starting backcourt?
I'm very comfortable with Beal and Booker as the starting backcourt, but we're going to explore, that fifth spot, potentially being a campaign or a point guard, and we're going to, explore it being, maybe a 3-4 type of defender position. Those things will play out in camp. I love the idea of getting those guys down on the floor with a point guard and advancing it up to him and letting them attack. But I know that they can handle it on their own as well. And we've seen that through Book's career, through Bradley's career. And again, the pace that we want to play with, I think most possessions are going to have different ball handlers each time down. You know, it's going to be a multiple ball handler attack, but I'm comfortable with those guys. But I do love what campaign brings to the table.
Bradley, Cameron Cox, 12 News. Welcome to the Valley. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
What are you most excited about in this next chapter of your life here?
That's a great question. Just the journey in front. I don't have any control over it. You know, it's tough because everybody knows I only know DC. That's all I know. You know, so now I'm jumping into a whole new situation. It's fresh, new people, new faces, new organization, new people to meet. I'm embracing it all. You know, I don't know what it'll bring. I don't know what type of challenges, adversity will come with it, but whatever comes with it, I accept it. I embrace it because it builds character. It helps build who you are. You know, so I would say I'm living this next chapter in my life freely, peacefully, and just excited for the journey ahead, man. Because we try to control too much of our lives. We try to think we're God. We try to control way too much, man. Just let things happen naturally as they're supposed to, and see great things happen.
James, this one is for you. Hopefully you'll be able to answer this one. But I was just curious because obviously there's a ton of excitement about Bradley Beal, but I know for you, Chris was one of the first big moves that you made here and what he was able to do here. So just wanted to get your thoughts on his time in the Valley and what he meant to what you guys have built here so far.
I mean, you could just look at what happened over the last 3 years and you can see Chris's fingerprints all over it. I think people will remember this phase of Suns basketball, and Chris Paul will be a face that's vivid in your memory, etched in your memory forever. He's going to go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest point guard in the history of the game. And, you know, whenever you have that type of person with you, you're better. And so he made us tremendously better. And, you know, it's always bittersweet. It's always tough. And these are the moments of the game that really sting when you have to make decisions that impact your team, impact your community, impact your city. But it's always a little easier to deal with when you add someone of Brad's caliber. Different, but still at that level.
Hey, Bradley. Mark McLuhan, 3TV, CBS 5, Arizona's family right here. Welcome to the Valley. Happy birthday.
Man.
Hey, curious, you mentioned chasing the ring kind of right out of the box and the championship expectations here and in your years in the NBA. And as a leader, what have you noticed about what championship expectations do to a franchise when you're chasing that ring? And how do you keep it from being kind of the joy in chasing the championship and not the weight of the expectations?
I mean, it's tough because, I mean, the biggest thing is always keeping, you know, the main goal. And, you know, anything can happen in the playoffs. Any team could be beat. Anything can happen. The biggest thing is just staying together, you know, understanding that there's one goal at the end of the game, and that's to win it. Doesn't matter what stats look like. Doesn't matter what's going on. We're locked in one game at a time, and it's the first to four, you know. And my biggest thing, I haven't got over the hump of the second round, you know. So that's going to be a new thing for me. I'm going to lean on the backs of a lot of guys who've been there. But also just leaning on my experience. I've been in the playoffs. I've played in big games. I embrace it all, you know. So I'm definitely excited for it. I understand that there's a huge expectation. We have an expectation for ourselves, but we're not going to make your expectations bigger than what ours are. And I think that's where I think a lot of teams crumble.
Bradley, first of all, same thing Mark said. Happy birthday. Welcome to the Valley.
Thank you.
I'm Doug Franz from the Doug Franz Unplugged podcast and WTSMTV.com. I don't know what you were like when you were 10 years old, but every year of your life with the basketball, you have been the alpha male on the team. You're the dog. Now, for the first time, I'm guessing, in your life, you're still needed as a dog and a leader, but you're on a team with two other dogs. How do you balance both of what you've been, staying true to yourself, but at the same time knowing there's KD and Book beside you?
It's kind of similar to college. I'll rewind you. I would say when I went to Florida, I started at the 4. I had 3 guards that were already there, so people kind of looked at me like I was funny for going there. So it won't be any different. You know, you go in and you be who you are. They already told me from day one, we don't want you to come in and be anybody but yourself. We don't need you taking a back seat. Just be aggressive, be who you are. And Kay and Dev and DA are the same way. Like, they don't want anybody to come in and feel like you have to walk on eggshells. Like, we don't build, I don't look at the NBA like that. I don't look at it as, oh, it's my team, oh, it's your team. Like, it's everybody. Like, we all got to compete. We all got to do this thing together and make it happen. But understand that, you know, this is Book Nation. Like, understand that this is his stomping grounds. This is his arena. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited to be able to play with 2 Hall of Famers, you know? Like, I've never done that, you know? So I'm excited about it. I'm excited what that brings. And they'll push me in ways I've never been pushed, you know, so I'm excited about that, and hopefully I can do the same.
We'll have 2 more questions live.
Eliav, goodbye, Sports 360 AZ. So obviously on your 19th birthday, you were drafted. Now, 11 years later, a day after your 30th birthday, you're introduced as a Phoenix Sun.
Yep.
What's it like to have that kind of full circle moment?
It is definitely full circle. I was telling them last week, I feel like I got drafted all over again. And ironically, this is the same tie I wore on draft night. So it's definitely coming back full circle. I'm just enjoying it, man. This is an awesome opportunity again. Just to compete every single night in meaningful games. Like that's so important to me. And then having an organization whose goals are all aligned. We're all focused on one goal, and we're going to do everything in our power to try to achieve that thing.
Richard Sines, Fox 10 again. Bradley, thanks for all the great answers to the questions, but this is for Coach and James. You guys have both won championships. You guys have been on championship teams. You know what a championship team looks like, whether on paper, character-wise, in the locker room. With this new piece to the puzzle in Bradley Beal, how much closer are you guys to getting that championship team?
Tremendously closer. He's one of the best players in the league, and anytime you add a player like Bradley Beal to a core and foundation that we already have, your chances enhance greatly. And you know, Bradley hasn't always had the pieces around him, to win a championship. But there was an old saying that we used to say back when I was in Indiana, and I was able to carry it through it with the Lakers. The champions behave like champions before they're champions. And I believe Bradley's carried himself that way and performed that way throughout his career. And hopefully now he's got the pieces around him to help him achieve that goal.
I believe what Coach said is 100% true. For us, I always look at the game as like you want to have an advantage at as many positions as possible every night. And adding Brad, truly believe, every night we're going to walk out there with 4 of the 5 best players on the floor at those positions. And so great players carry greater expectations. And it's really good when they're really good. The really good players make it easy to meet those expectations. So he's pushing us closer. We have a lot of work to do. It's a really tough task, really difficult. The hardest thing you'll ever do in the sport of basketball is win a championship. But we have players capable of excelling at that level, and they know how hard it is, and they embrace it. So I think we're well positioned to meet our goal.
Better now with this?
I think so. I mean, it's about, I'll be pushed. Last time I was around, that was Russ, right? Seeing Russ every single day, his work ethic, his mentality, that took my game to another level. And I think it'll be the same thing here. When around a championship coach, around KDUS too, Book, who's played in the finals, DA who's played in the finals, their mentality is going to be a lot different than what I've seen. So I'm excited for it. I think it'll propel my game. It'll prepare my mentality. And I'm excited for it.
Thanks everyone for your questions. We'll conclude with a quick photo op on stage here.